Greetings, everyone. I'm about to start series part 6 in Yahuwah's calendar, commandment, laws, statutes, and feast day series. Now, before I begin part 6, I'm going to read Leviticus chapter 20, verse 22 to 23. You shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments and perform them, that the land where I am bringing you to dwell may not vomit you out. And you shall not walk in the statutes of the nation which I am casting out before you, for they commit all these things, and therefore I abhor them. Now, this verse, I choose it because it's a lot of meaning to it. And as you can see, the reason the children of YAHUAH were cast out of the land, the promised land, is because they did exactly what YAHUAH told them not to do, to follow the other nations, to adapt to the lifestyle, because that's the reason why he cast them out in the first place. And after Yahweh gave them the Torah, they end up doing the same exact thing. So he vomits them out of Israel, the promised land. And that's why the children of Yasharel are scattered to the four corners of the earth because of their sins and the sins of the forefathers. So which make us, most of the children of Yasharel, ignorant to the Torah. Because once they were cast out, they end up serving another nation speaking a different language, and the Torah was not in sight for them to follow. When I mean not in sight, they were not allowed to follow the Torah, so they present them with Christianity. And with Christianity, they give them a white Elohim named Jesus. And that's exactly what's stated in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Now, this series I'm going to start, it's not going to be easy. And nothing about the commandments is easy. Because you have to understand, we were raised wrong. We're going to have to renew our mind, do a reset, total reset. You know how your computer is going bad? A lot of things is slow. Sometimes you have to do a total reset starting from the beginning. And as it states in Psalms 19, it's gonna take a lot courage. It's gonna take a lot loving Yahweh with all of your heart, your mind, your soul, and give it all. Like I put in the beginning of the video, when it comes to Yahuwah's commandments, there is no compromising, no negotiation. You either give it all or nothing. And this is exactly as basic as it is. You cannot serve Yahweh partially. You either follow the Torah or you don't follow the Torah. So again, I will find many people that may be in disagreement, and definitely Torah-less people. You'll find a lot, and I really don't care. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna come to a point you're gonna ask yourself, like Moshe said, today I am calling the heavens and the earth against you. I'm giving you the Torah, the commandments, the covenant. It says I'm showing you life and death, and it says choose life. How do you choose life? It's by keeping all Yahweh's statutes and all his judgments and perform them. Not just say it, but perform them. Okay? And you do not follow. You put yourself apart. You are set apart from this world, because you cannot serve Yahweh in the world. You either serve him or you don't. That's what you're gonna have to start letting your mind understand and teaching it to yourself. That's why it says when you wake up in the morning, when you sit at your table, when you're walking, that's Deuteronomy chapter 6. You make it a memorization, the commandments, the laws. You teach it to your children when you're eating. So that will become a repetition that it reminds you. It reminds you daily that you have to keep the commandments. When it comes to all the commandments, you have to remind yourself, because it's a reset you're doing it yourself. Again, we were raised wrong. We were raised in a Torah-less life, seeking other gods, breaking the Torah, the covenant, the law of YAHUAH. Now He opened your eyes. You have to reset and go back. So I'm gonna start with a series, and my topic is gonna be about marriage. I had other things attached to it, so I had to remove it to make it just about marriage. Okay, so the questions are asked: the definition of marriage. This is the first question. What is marriage according to the commandments, the Torah? What makes a marriage, and what is the age for marriage? The last one, I may not touch too much about it because it's going to be a personal decision, and plus you have to seek YAHUAH for that. Okay? So I'm going to begin with the first question by the definitions. The definition of marriage is a noun. It says the legally or formally recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. Historically, and in some jurisdictions, specifically a union between a man and a woman. Okay? Now, this is a definition. It's a union between a man and a woman, and I understand why they put in certain jurisdiction, because of the life we're living nowadays. And I took the liberty to take a picture of what a man and a woman look like. To the left you see the men, and to the right this is the woman. This is men and woman. As you can see, the man, he has a testicle membranes and a penis. And the woman, she has a vagina or vaginal membrane, and also she has boobs. So I'm just sticking because I want you to see visually, not that you don't know your body, but it's the way the world is it is so desensitized. It's redoing everything according to their terms of men and women now. Now, I need you to understand, I am not being sarcastic at all, okay? Because we are nowadays living in a modern society where people are defining the anatomy, the body, the physical body that YAHUAH created the men and women as how they feel. It's based on how they feel. It's not the actual body parts they have or organs or they have. It's just like, if I feel like I'm a butterfly, they are a butterfly. Now, this modern day we're living in is, I would say, full of lies. The truth become lies and lies become truth. And the world is full of what you call a bunch of airheads. Now, people cannot think for themselves. Anything that goes up sticks. As long as you can convince somebody enough that you are. And like I put here, if I wake up tomorrow, I feel like a nut, and all I have to do is find a pronoun for a nut and let people know, hey, I'm a nut. This is how I feel. I've been feeling that way for years, so I want to be a nut, and this is my pronoun. Now, you will find many people that agrees with me by being a nut, and I will have just to start dressing like a nut. Like I say, tell people this is what I am because this is how I feel. That's how they make anatomy looks like right now, if I feel. Now, I will have to pick, like I say here, whether I'm a pistachio nut or a pecan. I have to choose which one to dress like or to tell people that I am. And you know what? With that, if I I should be able to convince people enough. Now, I can convince people enough that, I will be able to marry Peanut at a later time. And if I go to the court and put my arguments, they cannot stop me, because this is the world we're living in. Everything goes. Whatever you throw, sticks. No more common sense, specifically no Torah, no law, a lawless life, especially among the children of YAHUAH, because we were raised amongst the other nation like it happened before. That's why we kept going to slavery after slavery, because every time we mix with the other nation, we end up living like they are, not separating ourselves. So that's the world we're living in. And it is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? It is a dangerous world we're living in. And it's very scary. Now, when it comes to marriage, and many people might have questions, because nowadays people walk around, you don't know who you're looking at and what you're looking at. Because what may appears to be a man to you is actually a woman. And what may appears to be a woman is a man. So if you seriously want to be in a relationship, you're really going to have to dig very deep to find out from the person's real birth what they were, as what they were born with. Because now churches, because I'm talking to the children of YAHUAH who removed themselves from Christianity, now churches is accepting that. And that's why I put no negotiations, okay? No compromising, it's either all or nothing. Because you might find somebody that may come and says, hey, what if somebody who was a transgender went through all these surgeries, okay? Can that transgender man or woman be accepted since that individual looked like a man or woman? And like I said, this is the matrix. What you see is not what really you're seeing. It appears to be a man, but it's not a man. It appears to be a woman, but it's not a woman. And that's how Satan plays tricks on you. You know what I'm saying? It shows you what you're seeing is not what it is. So that's why I go to definitions. I put pictures to give you visual, definition to give you more understanding. Not that I'm saying anyone's is dumb, but because I said some people learn different. Visual, pictures, and definitions will give you a more understanding so you can grasp the information. So with their terminology of transgender, it says it's denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender does not correspond to their birth sex. Okay? So according to this definition, if my personality and gender does not correspond to my personality, does that make me the other sex? The answer is no. Okay? It doesn't change anything. It's just how you feel, because we feel like anyone. A lot of things. Sometimes we wake up, we feel so many different ways. Does that mean you are how you feel? No, because we go through that motion in life. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't change anything. And if you look up the word personality identity, it is defined as the concept you develop about yourself, that evolves over the course of your life, that may include aspects of your life that you have no controls of, such as where you grew up. You don't have a control of that because your parents were in charge of you, so therefore you grew up in a town that you didn't have any control until you grew up. Then you can move out. The color of your skin, you cannot change the pigment of your skin. Yes, black folks use white and cream to white themselves, but at the end of the day, when they stop using it, they turn back to their natural colors. It's just, that just it is what it is, because you cannot change a lot of things. You cannot change unless YAHUAH himself does that. No one have no power or the act to do it. Okay, it's like, it's just a choice like you make in life. It's just impossible. Another word, just because you feel that way doesn't mean it is what that's what it is. And a lot of you can't change. So just because so and so say, okay, I was born a man, but I feel like something. You might wake up this day, today, or a few years, you feel like, but when reality hits, you know who you are, and you are what you are. You're gonna turn out to be what you are, you know. And Satan said himself, he will make sure he destroy mankind. And these are the things. The great deceiver, he deceive you, your mind. That's when you're not into the Torah, you're not seeking Yahweh, and you're not keeping the commandments. These things have access to play with your mind and make you feel, do things that Yahweh abhor, you know, that Yahweh does not want you to do. And I also look up the definitions for birth sex. It states that the sex that a person has, I don't really agree with this, is assigned to at birth, because no doctor cannot assign, you understand, a sex at birth, but it's the sex the person has. It's either male or a female. You understand? So, and it states that at birth chiefly use the context where in contrast with a person's gender identity. So they identify you. If you have a penis, you have a testicles membrane, you are a man. If you have vagina, you are a female. So that's what they meant by the definition of sex, that they assign you. Whatever they see, that's what they call it. Not whatever what they see, they call it as is. Okay? And there's no turning back on that. Now, according to Genesis, now I'm answering all the questions. According to Genesis chapter 2, Yahuwah created two sexes, and we all know that. You go to Genesis and it's proving. You see, once a woman is pregnant, they either have a boy or a girl. How do we know? The definition of the sex is either penis or testicles or a vagina. So this is what Yahuwah created, and there's no changing on that. I'm going to read verse 21 to 22, and it reads, "And Yahuwah Elohika caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, okay, and closed it up, the flesh, in its place." In verse 22 it says, "Then the rib which Yahuwah Elohika had taken from man, he made into what? A woman." And guess who named woman? It was Adam, okay? "And he brought her to the man." Now, even though Yahweh took the rib from Adam, who was a man, they were both built differently. They were never the same, okay? The man was always stronger, more muscle mass than the woman. You know, it's much stronger than the woman. And a lot of things that makes them different, I'm going to show you pictures below, is that the man, again, we're talking about the testicles and the penis, he was born with that. So men carry sperms, that's all they do. They do not have children, okay? They carry the sperms. And the female, here, this is a female, that's a vagina. In case to show you a picture, they have ovaries and fallopian tubes and uterus. This female here are able to carry children. Men cannot carry children, but females can. This is what makes them different in most part. The genital, that's what makes them different. In the body shape and mask, you know, that makes them totally different. So therefore, a doctor has no power to change that, okay? So this is a picture of a woman. See how they carry the babies. Men don't have, you know, the body shape and hip are totally different in every way. Unless a doctor can actually rebuild a human body, there's no way they can do that transition, or what they call gender reassignment. You just understand that it is just a propaganda. Not only that, it has a lot of money involved. And you know, this world is just about money, money, money. But as far as the doctor, to tell you that he can transform you, a man to a woman, that is a lie, okay? It cannot happen, okay? It's all about money and the agenda, Satan, okay? You have to understand that. Like the politicians say, if I tell you a lie, you believe it is not a lie. Now the lie becomes truth, truth becomes lie. So they tell you that lie, you believe it. So you believe in your mind, oh yeah, he can make me a woman. You know, you believe it, and that's what it is. Okay? And many words, what the doctors are able to do, no regardless how they fix it, they make it beautiful. They think they make it seem appears to be a woman, a man who went to gender reassignment surgery. All they've done is castrated that man. Okay, is by removing this man penis and testicles, and that's why I put the definition of castration is the removal of the testicles of a male or animal. That's all they did, because you're still a man regardless you missing testicles. Okay, and if a woman who does, I've seen the video about the surgery, they remove everything like the ovaries, and I mean they really did do a number on this surgery on the female and the male. And your little mind, you know, you think, oh, you did it. No, you didn't do anything but castrated yourself. You know, now if it was true, because the mind, there's so many of them returning saying that, you know, they feel that's who they are. You find men who went to so-called quote quote gender reassignment and I regret it. Now they want their penis back, because at the end of the day they say they are a man, and which is what they real are. Now you have a man walking without a penis and testicles. So you have a castrated man and a woman who's just castrated, another word, and so many words. Like I say, a lot of people will not agree, but it is what it is. Okay, so now if doctors, you know, any of them will be honest, if it was not about money and their propaganda, they will tell you they do not have any power and or might to transform any man or woman to the opposite sex. Yes, you don't want the private, they'll remove it for you. That's all they can do, and they can make it appears to be a vagina, but it's not a vagina. You cannot, as a man who's reassigned to look like a woman, you cannot have babies. You're still a man, just without a penis. Okay, I'm just making understanding. It's not the subject I want to talk about, but it all falls into marriage, because now you find men marrying with men, women with women, and you find what they call a transgender male and female, and now even on TV you find that a man's pregnant, which is a bunch of rubbish, you know. And that's what happened when you don't have the Torah, the law, and you ignorant about Yahweh's law and commandments, and you will accept anything. If you're not seeking Yahweh, you're gonna fall into this messed up world. Like these things, believe it or not, was happening before, way before our time. It's just like history's repeating itself, and guess what, at the end of the day, when Yahweh comes, it's just going to be judgment, period. So if you don't want to be part of that, it's remove yourself, okay, from this, you know, craziness that's going on. But again, only Yahweh alone can undo what he's done, which means create a man. He's the only one that can undo that. No one else has that kind of power. And don't listen to any doctor that tells you that they can. Okay, I'm gonna read Romans chapter 1 verse 26 to 32, and it reads, for this cause Yahweh, okay, gave them up into vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Okay, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving into themselves the recompense of their error which was met. And it says 28, and even as they did not like to retain Yahweh and their knowledge, Yahweh gave them up over to the reprobate mind. Okay, that's dangerous, to do those things which are not convenient. So this is what happened. Once the person have a reprobate mind, they want to believe what they want to do. They forsake YAHUAH. He let you into your filthiness. He let you into it. And mind you, this is the time of Paul. This is after the death of YAHUAH HaMashiach. Okay, so these things was happening then. It's probably much worse now. Because why is it much worse now? You find doctors doing operations and people, lying to them, telling them they're able to do this and that. But this was happening then as well. Okay, that's why Paul was preaching. He's been telling the people, do not wear man's garment. Okay, it's also in the Torah, way before Paul was born. Do not wear men's garment, and women do not wear men's garment. Men do not wear women's garment. These things was happening. But like I said, because our ancestors, they sent, cast out, to the four corners of the earth. And Moshe, told them that will happen once they leave the Torah, the contract, the covenant. They will engage in these such lifestyle. They will forget YAHUAH. They'll go to a nation where the language our forefathers never knew. Worship other Elohim, wood and stones. All these things falls into it. Now, with us, that generation that falls after fall into the same, sin. We were raised wrong, so we adapt toward a new world, a new nation that our ancestors never knew. You know what I'm saying? So this is a dangerous life we are living, and that's why you have to seek YAHUAH for yourself with all of your heart, your mind, your soul. So with all that said, an individual that was born a male and that the doctor castrate him, or what they call gender reassignment surgery, is just a castrate man, vice versa for a woman. Matter of fact, what it says in the Torah, a man who's missing his penis, who got it cut off, they're not allowed, into the YAHUAH's assembly. And I didn't say, that's why I put the verse so you can see it's not from my word. In Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 1, Moshe, it says verse 23. It reads, he that is wounded in the stones or have his privy member cut off, that's what they're doing to men, just because they want to be women, shall not enter into the congregations of YAHUAH. So this is what it says. It's Deuteronomy 23 verse 1. They shall not enter into the congregation of YAHUAH. And like I said before, you find countless of people who so-called transgender, regret they done the surgery. They trying to detransition. and it is sad. It's not a laughing matter, because when people get to this, it takes you to lose your penis and your testicles for you to realize that you're a man. And it takes you for them to remove your ovaries and everything, for you to realize that you're actually a woman. Many don't go to the surgery, but those who went to the surgery have a lot of regrets. You know what I'm saying? And it's a little bit too late for that. But can they repent? Yes, they can repent for their sins and go to YAHUAH. Only YAHUAH know what he may do. That's if their reprobate mind does not change. Okay, so if they repent for their sins, you know what I'm saying, and start keeping the Torah, what's gonna happen to them? I don't know how's that gonna work, because if you're a man without a penis, I don't know how you're gonna marry a woman. So you come back to the Torah, so that person, I don't know, like YAHUAH knows, you're gonna have to live for yourself for a while, unless you can find your penis and have it put it back for you. I do not know. But can that person repent for their sins? Yes. All sins are the same sins, whether you do adultery, whether you fornicate, whether you become transgender, or you gay, or whatever, you're a liar, whatever. Sins is sin. There's no a special sin or greater sin. As long as you sin, you don't keep the Torah, you're a sinner, you're wicked. That's all you have to understand. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're sleeping with somebody's wife or husband, that's wickedness. And YAHUAH does not play that. He does not believe in whoredom, especially in Yahshua. So you have to repent for that. Just like the person who trained you that is all is once. There's no different sins. Sins is sin. So if that person repent truly and come back to YAHUAH, yes, there is a chance. But as far as them being married to have children, I don't know how's that gonna work. That's why we have to teach our children about the Torah. You have to separate yourself, and I'm going to keep repeating that countlessly. Be set apart. If it takes for you to move away, go to the wilderness or country somewhere where you can be able to teach your own children, homeschool them, that would be the greatest thing, because this is life and death. Okay, life and death. That's what Moshe was trying to tell the children of YAHUAH. I call the heavens and earth against you today. I am telling you to keep the commandments, your laws and statutes. You keep it, you're gonna live, but you don't, you're gonna die. Okay, so we're gonna go on, continuing the topic of marriage. I don't want to lose sight. It's still the marriage. What is it according to the commandments? Genesis chapter 2:24. Now, therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. What makes them man or woman joined is sex. When they have sexual intercourse, they become one. That's what it means. So I'm going to explain a little bit further. Now, you see in the modern world how we were taught, people will date. You have a 13, 14 years old, say they have boyfriend, and boy have girlfriend, and even have consensual sex. This is the wicked world that we grew up in. Our children are not taught the right way. You send your child to school, and the teacher is now taking roles of parents, and I'm going to go on and continue. So therefore you have all this, and you have somebody, say, okay, I have my boyfriend, I'm going to move in with my boyfriend, or I have my girlfriend, I'm going to move in with my girlfriend. And to them, what they teach you, that you have to have a marriage license in order for you to be married. This is absolutely wrong. A marriage license does not make a marriage. Okay, well, this is what you were taught, but that is very incorrect, and the court system know that. And if you look up the origination of marriage license, and one of the main reasons they created that is to control the marriage between blacks and white, because that was something that was forbidden for black and white to be married. So they invented that. And there's so many, you probably have many other reasons behind it, but this is one of the main reasons that I've seen when I researched the origin of marriage. You know what I'm saying? And if you look in the earlier time, there was no such thing as a marriage license. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have that. It was always handled between both families. For instance, the man loved the woman, you go to the parents and ask their hand in marriage, and they deal with that for themselves. And the men mostly, now you have people who were raised wrong. People they don't take marriage seriously, or a lot of things not taken seriously, because it's like I said, we live in a world who's desensitized. Anything that you throw goes. So the marriage it is really, a lot of the good practice is gone out the door, basically. You don't find that anymore. And but again, like they do, is just the man like the woman, go to the parents, they agree, the woman agrees, so they throw a big party. This is what a wedding was about. You throw a big party, you eat, and then the father gives the woman to the men, and they go to their own house, and they know each other bisexual. When they have sex, they become husband and wife. That's what a marriage is, and that's how the Bible explains it throughout the Old Testament. When you look through the Old Testament, that's how you see it was, made. It was happening. Nonetheless, when the children of YAHUAH were cast out and now be amongst the nation again, they end up adapting to the pagan world after, when he told them not to adapt to it. And now what happened was they were cast out. Slave, your master, you get raped, and you're taught certain other ways, because guess what? You don't have the covenant of the Torah or your parents to teach you the right way. Because what happened when they take a family, they scatter you. Daddy go to a country, mama go to another country, and the babies go to a different country, or whoever buys them, they live separately. Therefore, you don't have your child to teach the Torah to. And this child who goes to this to their slave master, they're not going to teach them the Torah because they don't know the Torah to begin with to teach them. So that's how we so messed up, and it's going to take a lot of prayer, seeking YAHUAH to help us. You know what I'm saying? So for those of you that YAHUAH is opening your eyes, you know, take it seriously, take it at heart. Again, no negotiations, no compromising. You either give it all or nothing. Now you know the right thing, and if you do the wrong thing, guess what? You will be punished severely, especially the children of Yasharah. You will get punished more severe than any other nations. Okay, so keep that in your mind. Now again, marriage license, it's just a trap, and the government uses it as a business. You know what I'm saying? Especially they make more money with divorcing. Now imagine that, you know, you living with your husband, none of you agree, you're fighting like cats and dogs. Okay, so okay, we cannot be together, whatever the cause, the reason is. Now can you imagine you have to go pay a man to go in front of the judge to tell the judge that okay, they can't live together? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? They make you buy the license, which trap you, and for you to divorce, you have to pay thousands of dollars just to get divorced. And according to the Bible, if you follow the path of the Bible, it tells you that once, you know, the man, you know, is not, you know, marriage is not working out, or he's something, whatever has happened between them, he is the one who writes the letter of divorce, not the court, not the judge, not the attorney going in front. The man, the husband, write a letter of divorce and give to the wife and send her away. This is according to the Torah. Not that we want divorce, but this is how it was done. That's why it's an affair between families. So once the man leaves his mother's house and attached to his wife, so it's between them right now. If they cannot live together, the man say, okay, I'm giving you a divorce. He write the letter and give to her, and she goes her way, mostly back to her parents. You hear? So that's why it happens. But now, you know, in this world, they tell you things different. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's a business. You get charged, and that's why a lot of people, they choose to separate, not having to do divorce, because they're charging so much money just so you can tell somebody, okay, we can live together. And let alone, what's so bad about it, the judge you're going in front and the attorney, they don't believe in the Torah. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe in any of the laws at all. It's their law, they're Torah-less. So, you know, imagine that you're going to them. That's why you have to separate yourself. If you're going to live, no compromising. Remember that. No negotiation. It's either all or nothing. All or nothing. You're going to get married, you're going to go marry according to the Torah. You're a young man, you know, following the Torah. Of course, hopefully the woman that you're interested in knows the Torah. You go to the father for the young lady. You love the woman, go to the father. I love your woman, of course. Make sure you can take care of the woman. Okay? Hey, I love your daughter, what have you, and I would like to, you know, your permission to take her hand in marriage, so you all agree. What do? You don't go get a license. You don't need that, because it's between you, the father, the parents, and the woman. So once everything, you guys are in agreement, okay, she, you know, say, okay, I love him, you know, we want to be married, you just throw a party, a big party that lasts sometimes weeks, you know, before the father say, okay, here's my daughter, she's yours to go, to take. So the parents will send a party. This is all to it, okay? And that's why it makes it, you know, when you're divorcing, since the father gave you the woman, if you're divorcing the man, right, the divorce, since you went to the father, okay, I'm releasing you. I give you the letter here, we no longer can leave, what have you, right on there, give her the divorce letter, and she goes about her business. Now she's an unmarried, you know, divorced woman. Can she be married according to the Torah? Yes, she can, but there are stipulations, so you're gonna have to read that on your own. I give you the verse. You know what I'm saying? So be set apart is very important. We have, it's a must. You have to be set apart, not to live according to this nation, to this world. Yes, you follow the law as long as not breaking the Torah. Okay, anything that's breaking the Torah, you do not follow. First of all, marriage certificate, you don't need that. There's a lot of other things that they're pushing down your throat, you do not follow. That's why I say you remove yourself, especially from the city. You have to go to country or move out, or whatever you have to do to save your life, to save your children, your family. You have to do it. You cannot serve YAHUAH partially. You have to give him all. or nothing. Okay, so don't live among the heathens. Do your best and always go to YAHUAH for directions. Okay, I am not telling you what to do, but if you love YAHUAH that much, you ask him and he will show you what to do, how to go about things, and give you more wisdom concerning that. Okay, so again, about the divorce, like I said, once you guys cannot live together, it's really done and over with, according to Deuteronomy chapter 24 verse 1. So you don't think that I'm just saying that with my mouth. Okay, remember I tell you the divorce letter, divorce, the man wrote it in Deuteronomy 24 verse 1 and 4. This is what it reads: when a man takes a wife and marries her, if then she finds no favor in his eyes, because he has found some indecency in her, and he writes her what? A certificate of divorce, and puts it in her hand and send her out of his house. I don't see no court, I don't see no attorney. He said he write the certificate of divorce. Say, okay, it is over, I'm releasing you. You get out of my house, you go back to your family, wherever you want to go, but we are no longer together. This is what a divorce is according to the Torah. That's why you don't go buy yourself no license. You stay away from the world, because you're going to just get trapped, and it's going to be hard, especially when children is involved. And your marriage certificate is a trap for black folks, period. You see, it's harder for you to, the money they're asking you, 10,000s to get a letter to say that you cannot stay together. It is outrageous. But again, if you go according to the Torah, you set yourself apart, life will be much easier for you, because Yahweh don't make anything so complicated. If you read that again, it says, he writes the certificate of divorce and put it in her hand and said, oh wait, I do not see attorney, I do not see no judge, I do not see no court, I do not see no paper. He writes the letter of divorce. Okay, and we're still talking about what the marriage is. Okay, so if we go through all the scriptures in the Bible and the history, of the marriages, how does a man become a husband, which I already touched that. I'm giving you verses right now so you can go on yourself and read for yourself. One great example is Jacob, Yaakov. When he went to Laban, he went to find himself a wife. That thing that was his mother's brother, he went there to find himself a wife. What he did, more likely, when a man you go with gifts, money, and give to the father. But him, in this case, he went and worked 7 years for Rebecca, but and unfortunately, you know the story, you go read the story yourself. But the point I'm trying to make, he went there for this woman, he worked for it, and he asked the father for the daughter. That's all he did. So I'm gonna read that. Genesis 29:21-23 says, then Jacob said to Laban, give me my wife that I may go into her. So this is after they have all the negotiation. They agreed, I'm gonna work 7 years, you're gonna give me my wife, and I'm going about my business. So after all the party for a whole week, so he asked for his wife, and what he did, what makes them married is not the party, but is when he go into her. When they go to the tent, they have sex. So he become one with her. So she become his wife. Okay, that's what a marriage. That's what make the marriage complete. All right. And then so what Laban will do, and gather all the places, make a feast, like I said, they enjoy before they get their daughter away. They spend time, they might cry, they might be happy because they're sending their daughter away with a man, and hoping that the man will treat her right. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the marriage is. There's no marriage license. It's the father or the mother. That's who's involved in the man who wants the woman. These are the two people. These are the people that are involved: the woman, the man, and the parents. That's all you need. Not to go to a court for a license. You don't need that. The contract is made when the father give you okay, give the man okay, and he brings a gift, he accepted, and the woman, and they get married. That's it. They throw a party, and then father or parents will give the woman to the man, and when he and her have sex, they become one flesh, just like it says in the Bible. Very simple. Okay. Now another thing you have to understand, like in this world they're telling you have to date. There is no date. He did not date Leah or Rebecca. Okay, there's no such thing. That it's not in the Torah for dating, because dating is a disaster for whoredom. Alright, and Yahweh don't want that. He didn't see he work, he bring his gift, he accepted, it was accepted, and he throw a party and take his woman. That's it. That's all it is. If you go to Abraham, Abraham's son Isaac, the same thing. He sent gifts with his servant and able to take the woman and bring to Isaac. And when he take her to his tent, they had sex and he became the wife. Okay, no courts, no papers, it's just between them. She agreed to go, and that she went with the servant and met Isaac, met Sarah and what have you, and then when he goes to the tent, that's he become his wife. That's how it works. Nothing difficult, nothing too too confusing about that. And also, if you were to go to the court and get a marriage license, you and your man, or you're in the house, if you guys never had sex through a contract, this marriage is null and void. And the courts know that. They're not going to tell you that. If you don't have any sexual contact, you're not married. And if you two was to go say to the court, listen, I live with this man, but we never have sex, okay, they will void that marriage for you. Like I said, they're not going to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you stay in the word. You seek YAHUAH while he may be found. And that's what I say again with the dating, children dating. That's what causes whoredom, and people don't understand marriage. So you see, they have boyfriend, and some people have a boyfriend every other year. They sleep with the man and live, not knowing that when you have sexual intercourse with a man, you become one flesh, and that's your marriage. Okay, you become husband and wife, whether you like it or not. That's what it is. That's what scripture says it is. And like I say, I'm showing you scriptures. You don't have to believe me, but just go to YAHUAH, and that's what it says in Deuteronomy chapter 23 verse 17. It said, there shall be no whore and of the daughters of Yasharal, nor sodomy in the sons of Yasharal. What is meant by whore? Now, if you have some young kids who's sexual active, let's say 12, 15, 14 years old, even at 12 years old they start having sex, that's whoredom, because they probably has first boyfriend and then they have a second boyfriend. Most of the time they don't stay with the first man, they sleep. This is what a whore do, sleep with men that's not even their husband. And the sodomy thing is just the transgender, the man married with men. That's what it is, and Yahweh don't want that. He abhorred that, and that's what the other nations were doing, where he cast them out. So he don't want you to be part. He says, separate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I say, you find school who's teaching your children these things. Say it's okay for a boy and boy to be together, and woman to be together, and teaching your children sexual act as early as elementary. What they're doing, they create little whores and sodomy in your children, which you don't want. So when your children is in that school system, they're out there, they're on the road to destruction. That's why you keep your children away from this world, set apart. It is beneficial if you can teach your children, homeschool them. You do that and teach them the commandments and laws and statutes daily. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, boyfriend and girlfriend was never found in Yahshua, because what happened if your daughter, she was not a virgin, she is stoned to death. And this is as per Yahweh's commandment. I'm not saying it has to be a virgin, because because when you're dating, you're sleeping here, sleeping there. So the first man who took your virginity is supposed to be your husband. And now you're gonna get married, you're not even a virgin. Who took your virginity? You have to answer to that. So if you're not, you were stoned to death. And if you don't believe me, Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 20 to 21. And I advise you to read more of the books, and you will see that. And it reads, if, however, the charges to be true, that means once a woman asks for a man and he take his wife home, if he say, hey, she was not a virgin, I met her. If the father can bring the proof, that's why what happened, the night they have sex at the parents' house, they go check the linen to make sure that she was a virgin. They will keep that as the record. In case the man come back and say she was not a virgin, they can bring that to the priest and say, here, my daughter was a virgin. Okay? But if what the man says is true, there was no proof, for she was not a virgin. Now, what it says, if however the charges is true and no proof of the young woman's virginity can be found, verse 21, she shall be brought to the door of her father's house, and there the men of her town shall stone her to death. And you know why? It says she has done what? An outrageous things in YAHUAH by being a promiscuous while still in her father's house. That means she's sleeping around with men. Okay? She must be purged. You must purge the evil from among you. And to purge it, that put a fear in young lady. Now you're not gonna have sex before your marriage unless somebody rape you. That's a different story. And that man, according to the Torah, you rape somebody, you're worthy of death. Okay? Now, the definition again of promiscuous is having a characterized by many transient sexual relationship. That means lasting shortly. Somebody have one night stand. YAHUAH don't want that. You have one night stand, or you have boyfriend after boyfriend. Some people have 10, 20 some boyfriend. That's whoredom. Okay, it's not supposed to happen in YAHUAH. So that's why I say you're gonna have to renew your mind. There's gonna be a lot of renewing, a lot of things to learn. That's why you need to attach to seek YAHUAH while he may be found, because none of these are acceptable with YAHUAH. Okay, like I said, school teach your children about that as young as elementary. You know what I'm saying? That's why keep your children away from the school system. Stay away. If you have to go to some country far away to save your family, for your family's sake, for your life's sake, you do that. Whatever you can do to save your children, but do not let them attach themselves to the school system or to the system. Like I say, you keep the law as long as not breaking YAHUAH's commandments. Okay? If it is, you have to remove yourself. Go to the wilderness. Okay? So this is the only advice I can give you. And like I said, this perverse world, a world without the Torah, a Torah-less generation, it's abominable, and it's nothing. It's gonna take you back to the judgment, the lake of fire. That's all it is. It's gonna come into at the end of the day. Okay? Now, and like I said, these acts, they were committed before, and that's why YAHUAH removed these nations, the 7 great nations. YAHUAH said, I'm going to give you all these nations, Canaanites, the children of Ham. He gave them that because they were doing all these acts we're doing today. YAHUAH said, okay, the earth vomit them, I'm going to remove them, and you can take it, but you have to keep my law, my commandments. And what happened again? They're doing the same thing the Hamites were doing, and they get cast out of it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna read some more verses, and I encourage you to read. When I give the verses, read the whole chapters, because I'm not gonna read the whole chapters. It's just I'm giving you the information. Now, in Leviticus chapter 20, this is what it says. It says, he shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgment and do them, that the land whither I bring you to dwell therein spew you not out, and he shall not walk in the manners of the nation which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. So this is a verse. Read the whole chapter. You're gonna see all those things that was happening in these nations, and YAHUAH cast them out, severely, and give it to the children of YAHUAH. But unfortunately, children of YAHUAH always err. What they do, committing whoredom, sodomy, all vile, acts, the same nation was doing, worshiping idols. And YAHUAH said, okay, listen, you're doing the same, I'm gonna root you out. I'm gonna cast you to the 4 corners of the earth. I'm gonna punish you severely. And this is what happened to our ancestors. So another thing I'm gonna touch about is the wedding band. The wedding band is a Roman and Greek practice. So therefore, in the Torah, you do not see anybody exchange wedding band. So this is something we need to remove ourselves away from. That's why you have to study, do your research, and read the Torah. We do not practice wedding bands. You're not supposed to. Because you know why? Because YAHUAH in few occasions that he exhort Yaakov, Jacob, and Moshe to tell the people to remove the jewelry away from them. So this is one of the reasons why if jewelries, earrings, and everything, if you purify yourself and stay away. I know people will argue, well, they used to do this and that, but I'm just saying, okay? I'm just a messenger, trying to serve YAHUAH as modest as possible. You don't need the jewelry, just take it off. You're beautiful. He created you perfect the way you are. And again, these are things the children of Yahshua learn from who? The Egyptians, okay? All these things. So remove yourself from that. I'm going to read Exodus chapter 33 verse 5. It says, for YAHUAH had said unto Moshe, say unto the children of Yahshua, ye are a stiff-necked people. I will come up into the midst of thee in moment and consume thee. Therefore now put off what your ornaments from thee, that I may know what to do unto thee. That's when they built the calf with the earrings and jewelries. When Moshe was talking to Yahweh, I said, go down there, see what your people doing. They worshiping a calf. You know what I'm saying? So that's when Yahweh said to tell them that he think. And the children of Yahshua stripped themselves of what their ornaments by the mount of Horeb. And if you go to Genesis chapter 35, that's what happened to Jacob, Yaakov. He said, then Yaakov said unto his household and to all that were with him, put away what? The strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. And it says what? Verse 3, let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto YAHUAH, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the day in which I went. And what it says in verse 4, and they gave unto Yaakov, Jacob, all the strange gods which were in their hands, and what? All their earrings, and their that were in their ears. So all the ornaments, earring, jewelries, whatever they had, they given. What did Jacob do with Yaakov? He hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. So remove these things away from you. So wedding band is not, it's a pagan practice, and it's deeper, sinister than you think. Okay, so that's why you have to do your research. No wedding band. So in conclusion of the marriage, according to the Torah, it's between a male, and with that I mean man that was born with testicles and penis, and a female that was born with vagina membrane, not no transgender. And all male, man with man, is just a male and a female, and it's pretty clear, basic. Okay, you do not follow the world, you do not go according to the world. Okay, so if somebody say they're a transgender man, knowing that that's a woman, okay, you're still a woman. There's no such thing as a transgender man or transgender woman. And I know I may get a lot of heat for that. Some people may disagree. This is, it is what it is. No compromising, no negotiation. It is all or nothing. This is what YAHUAH, this is about YAHUAH. So that's why the world is not going to love you, because of the Torah, the covenant. So it is what it is. So you either take it or live it. No one has the power to change anybody to the opposite sex besides YAHUAH. Alright? And sexual intercourse, this is what makes the marriage. When the man go into her, they become one flesh. Not the paper you get at the court, but when the man go into her, which means having sexual contact, they become one. That's why you don't sleep around picking up all the spiritual people. That's whoredom. You do not practice that. Alright? So you come to the truth. You're knowledgeable. So what you're gonna do? You wanna get married? You don't go to court and get a paper. This between you, the woman, and the parents, and you take it from there. According to the Torah, you read the verses. Go according to that. Not that we want divorce, but if this won't work, the man writes a letter of divorce and send her away. And there's no such things as boyfriend and girlfriend. If you're living with a man, or a man living with a woman for years, whatever, you're having sex, that's your wife, that's your husband. Okay, so if she left, well, if you didn't give her a letter of divorce, she's still your wife. You just separate. So just understand the concept. That's what it is. Unless you write her a divorce, a letter of divorcement, say, okay, I am done with you, what have you, however you want to write it, this is your letter of divorcement, you're still married. Okay? Now, like I said, if you're a man who's interested in a woman, you go to the woman's parents. Alright? If the parents are not around, father's dead and mom is alive, you go to mom. If mom and dad not there, this is between you and her. You know what I'm saying? There's no wedding band, and according to the Torah. And all this bridesmaids, maid of honor is very sinister. It's the origin of it is very sinister. That's why you have to seek, get the information. You don't need all that. It's a party between the families, both families, the man family and the woman family, and friends and families. You know what they do? They celebrate for the whole week before the father said, okay, this is my daughter. You take her, take care of it, what have you. She's all yours now. And he gives you the girl to go part ways, okay? Or she'll say, okay, this is my daughter. Mother will say, you take her and what have you. But if it's the two of you, you take care of your wife. You have to take care of your wife, all right? So remove yourself from the pagan worlds. Remove yourself from the way of the heathens. Remove yourself from the practice of all this. No wedding bands, bridesmaids, jumping the broom, maid of honor. All this have sinister origin to it. You do not practice that, all right? And like I said again, it's between you, the men, and the parents, and the woman's and the parents. This is between you. So when you're divorcing, the man just write a letter of divorce, and that's that simple. No complication, no attorney, no judge, what have you. You don't need the government in your business. You don't need. That's why you pray. And if you know the truth, make sure whoever you're gonna get married, get that same understanding as you, which means you both are in the truth with understanding. Don't just go, you know what I'm saying? Marry somebody that's on the same page with you as far as the commandments, so you don't have too much trouble. All right. So Deuteronomy chapter 24 verse 5, you say, if a man has recently married, he must not be sent to war or have any other duties laid on him. For 1 year he is to be free to stay at home and bring happiness to his wife he has married. Now that's another thing you never taught. Mostly people married, some people go back to work right after the married wedding, what have you, and they only take a week off. But in the Torah, it's 1 year you take to enjoy your wife. You don't go to war, you don't go to anything, you stay to enjoy and cherish your wife. Now you have to understand that back in the day, with the land, they have the ability. Now, nobody can really take a year from work unless you own your own business. Even if you own your own business, unless you have a good amount of money in the bank, you don't. It's kind of crazy, but you take a few weeks, however you can take to enjoy your wife. You know what I'm saying? And read the scripture, ask YAHUAH for wisdom and understanding. It is very important. You know what I'm saying? So this is the Torah about the wedding, marriage. You know what I'm saying? And the appropriate age for marriage. I don't want to get too much into that. It's gonna have to be. I'll go to YAHUAH for that, because I do put some stuff I want to touch. It's harder when you have your child in the school system, because they teach them things. They're seeing too much, you know what I'm saying? And that child, the adolescent of this child is gone, because they've seen things that they're not supposed to be seeing. Now, if your child is homeschooled since they're a baby, they're with you, they're not partaking with this world, you have a better chance of raising this child. They won't have to go through that problem. But like I said, because of our sins, we're paying for it. And you find some single mom who cannot afford to homeschool their children, and they send them to the school system out there. So it's a lot of things you have to worry about, what the school teaching your children. So if you have a child, whether male or female, who's sexual active, what is the proper age to marry this child? Now, to avoid whoredom, to avoid YAHUAH's judgment upon that child, upon you. If the child is underage, that's going to be a call from you. You can explain, like I said, teach it to your children, the Torah, to have the fear of YAHUAH. If they want to, you tell them the laws and the statutes. The best way, if they can't, if have a boyfriend having sex, then they married. Just let them know that. However, that say go to YAHUAH. And I don't agree with the fact that a 45-year-old man want to get a 12-year-old. This is sick. You have a lot of wicked, sick people out there who want to get virgin, and they're not even virgin themselves, who want to get a young girl. Because what I've read in the Bible, it talks about damsel. And the damsel, from looking, it starts from the age 20, and it's up to the woman, to the child. Some people don't want to be married at age 20. They want to wait until they're 30, and it's fine. But a 12-year-old is still a baby, just flourishing. Let the child enjoy their life. Okay, like I say, if you have a 15-year-old who's sexually active, that's something you and your husband, or if you're a single mom, that's why you have to pray YAHUAH and try to remove the child from, because once they're in that environment, it screws up with their mind. You know what I'm saying? When they don't have the Torah, that's why you have to pray. Teach it to them daily when they're eating. Pray over their head. Pray YAHUAH for help, to seek guidance so He may help you. And like I said, it's a very touchy subject. That's going to be the discretions of the parent. What's the age, proper age? Proper age, my understanding, is 20 years old. 18 or 20. Unless if the child 18, say, okay, I want to be married at 18. I can't wait. Marry another person their age. You know what I'm saying? 2-3 years. But like I say, it's at your discretion. It's however, whatever YAHUAH tells you, you go about that. But I would say 20 years old will be a proper age. A damsel, 20 years old. Let a child enjoy their childhood. A 12-year-old is not ready for marriage. All right, but that's how I feel. And like I say, when I look, I see damsel. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna find people who rewrite the Bible. They're gonna put their own stuff. It's very confusing, because you have found a lot of perverts out there, and there's a lot of things being added and removed from the Bible. And I didn't see any age as far as reading the Torah. So that's something you have to go to YAHUAH and you use your right judgment. You have a 12-year-old, a 45-year-old man, really? Seriously? Even a 20-year-old? No. That's a child. That's abuse. But anyways, I don't want to get to that, but hopefully I covered everything about marriage. And if you find yourself sleeping around with multiple men, every year you change your boyfriend or girlfriend, just know that that's wickedness, and you're committing whoredom. Okay? Because you're just having quick sex, or you stay 1 year with that one, every year you change your boyfriend. That's not how YAHUAH planned it to be. Because once you have sexual contact with that person, you become one with that person, and that person, you stay with that person. Like I say, if it's not working out, you guys will become violent, you hate each other, whatever happened. If you're gonna be divorced, he gives you a letter of divorcement and go about your business. And some men probably wicked, don't want to give the divorce. If you want to separate, that's fine, separate yourself. But as long as if he does not give you that divorce, you're still married. Okay? So you're having sex, you commit adultery, whore, fornication, YAHUAH will spew you out. He will abhor you, because this acts, he does not want them in Yahshua. That's why I say a father give a daughter to be married. If she's not a virgin, she's stoned to death. You read the scriptures. I didn't put it there. It's not my word. It's in the scripture. That's the Torah. So trying to save your children, teach them the commandment, the laws, and the statutes. Okay? And seek YAHUAH. And I know I talked more than I wanted to, and it's a very long subject, and hopefully that bless you and help you. If you have questions, please ask, and I'll be more than happy to answer. And like I say, the best person to go to is YAHUAH. He is the one that gives wisdom. James chapter 1:5. If you lack of wisdom, you ask who? YAHUAH. He will give you more wisdom and understanding concerning all the Torah. You know what I'm saying? Concerning all the Torah. So seek YAHUAH while he may be found. And make sure you teach it to your family. Read Deuteronomy chapter 6. That's your job. Post the Torah, the commandments on your door and your gate. Read it to them when you're eating, when you're sitting down. Seek YAHUAH. Teach it to your children to save their life. Because this is life and death matter. No compromising, no negotiations. It is all or nothing. Okay, so may Yahweh bless you, may He guard you, may He keep you. With that note, I'll say shalom.